absolutely have to start a Fairy Charm, do one. You need potions, so that way if you lose a trade, you can still survive in that lane and not die. It worked out for you, and I'm not insulting you in any way, but buying mana potions will give you more mana in that lane than you will get from 2 Fairy Charms, and it will give you more wards. Obviously, yes, the components are more valuable across, let's say, a 40-minute game, but as far as the laning phase is concerned, your laning phase is going to be far, far more powerful than the double Fairy Charms. How did you do as Katarina? I mentioned near the end of the game that I personally do not like Hextech on Katarina, but versus the team comp you were versus, and with the lack of full AoE initiate that your team had, I was perfectly fine with it. No, I invited random people. I apologize if you didn't make it into this game. I was just trying to fill up the room with the people who are currently asking. Next game, I'm going to exclude all of these people from playing. I'm going to exclude all of them from playing for the next game. And then we're going to... once we've picked everyone who wants to play who has not been in a game, we will then start to let other people back in. That way we get as many people into the game as possible. So I apologize you didn't get into the game. That, again, nothing personal. I wasn't insulting anyone saying they were too bad. The only people I excluded on purpose were the people who did too well. As for Sivir, you did... I'm trying to think here. You did quite well, and I cannot remember my insults that I had for you. Honestly, I don't think I noticed any real large issues there. It was more about lane synergy and reading how your support was going to play. Not an issue, just a little bit of practice could be used. I also felt that all of the lanes, except for possibly Renekton, should have been farming a little bit better. Or, I believe I also mentioned that you guys pushed really, really hard to turret early game. That's perfectly fine. I have no complaints with that. You used it to bully them quite heavily and keep them from counter-engaging on you. Once you do that, you need to take something else, whether it's go back to base, get item advantage, or go take double golems. That would have given you a nice gold advantage, experience advantage, even for the, let's say, 100 health you lost tanking them or whatever. That's why I value running potions on supports, because they can then tank that. Renekton, you did very, very well. I don't think I had any real complaints for you. I'm sure I mentioned one or two things. I believe it was mostly, let's see here. The main concerns I had was positioning with your team. You were very, very good at dueling. You were very good at roaming, reading the map. I feel you played that very well, actually. Probably as well or better than my top lane. Admittedly, my top lane isn't that fantastic, but you did a great job. I didn't have any glaring concerns there. I would just suggest read your team a little bit better. You need to be able to understand what their next move should be. Unfortunately, I cannot see chat when I'm spectating. If you are playing that well, then you need to be leading the team. And that means, okay, we just picked up a kill, even if you weren't part of that kill. We just got a kill bot lane, we need to take dragon. We just got dragon, we need to ward their jungle and keep a timer on when their red buff comes up. We just took a turret and dragon and are low health. We need to go back, get an oracles, clear things out, and then go do Baron. Things like that. You need to know what needs to be done next as a team and try and lead them. A big part of solo queue is being able to bring people together and raise morale. Again, I realize a lot of people underestimate the value of that because they say, oh, it's solo queue, no one listens to me. But if you're playing well, people will listen to you. Not everyone, but on average, across a sample size of, let's say, 10, 20, 50 games, you will win a significant portion of those games. 20, 30% of those games that you won, a significant portion of that win will be chalked up to how you interact with your team, how you lead them. Okay, I'm going to start discussing teams now because I only have 3 minutes. Bans, Blitzcrank, again, you want to take out counterplay to your team playing poorly. I'm fine with that in solo queue. I wish people would learn to dodge Blitzcrank, though, because he's not actually that strong as a champion as he used to be. Jax, incredibly strong top laner, and it looks like they went Pantheon top. So I'm very much okay with that. It may have been that they set that up as a ban for a counter pick, or it could just be because he's very strong. Either way, perfectly fine ban. Kassadin, same thing, very, very strong. Fizz, I feel Fizz is not worth a ban anymore, especially Swain. People always say that Fizz counters Swain, and it's true to an extent. But Fizz is nerfed, and if you build a team comp that isn't easily assassinated by him and you don't let him snowball, he's not nearly as scary as people make him out to be. Amumu, I mentioned this, the last selection, I feel Amumu is never worth a ban. My reason being, if someone wants to play an AoE CC jungler and you ban Amumu, they will play Sejuani. Or they will play Zac. Or they will play Malphite, although Malphite's not nearly as strong as the other three. Those three champions all bring essentially the same things to the team as each other. One will always be strongest, and I feel like Amumu, Zac are a little bit better than Sejuani right now, but Sejuani fits better in certain team comps. Again, I just don't feel that's a worthy ban. Thresh, similar idea to Blitzcrank, you want to avoid your team getting hooked and feeding. Hecarim, I'm fine with Hecarim, he snowballs very, very heavily. He is a bit of a greedy jungler though. If he doesn't get kills, he falls behind. Leona, especially with Jinx, that's a very large amount of kill potential. As soon as Leona lands a stun, you throw your traps beneath them and start poking away at them. I feel Leona is easily poked out, but it's perfectly fine. That's a reasonably good synergy, especially with Hecarim landing any sort of a stun with Leona. Jinx follows it up with stun, Hecarim follows it up with CC and damage. Perfectly fine. Ryze, I feel, is a little bit underpowered right now, and he's not running Flash. Not running Flash is a death sentence versus many champions. I'm not saying that's going to be the case this game, but as much as I love teleport on mid laners, I feel he needs to go either or. Go teleport Flash or do Ignite Flash. He kind of needs some mobility there. Pantheon needs Snowball. He needs to end the game quickly. Conversely, Ryze, Hecarim, and Jinx can form a very, very strong late game. Leona is good late game, but it's very team dependent. So I feel like Pantheon's going to have to carry early game if he wants to pull that through. Again, that's perfectly fine. Swain, strong champion, underplayed. I feel he's good. Summoner choice I have no problem with. I'm assuming he's going top lane. Swain versus I'm not sure who's going versus who. We'll see once it loads in. Zed snowballs very heavily. He's a fine pick. High kill potential. Nami, great pick. Caitlyn, great pick. They synergize very well together. Udyr snowballs heavily, ganks really well. Swain, Udyr ganks are very, very deadly. Nami, Caitlyn, Udyr ganks very, very good. Zed, Udyr ganks are strong from a damage standpoint, but Zed has very few ways to initiate a fight. Overall, both team comps are fine. I feel blue team is a little bit scattered in their team comp, whereas purple team has some very, very good sustained team fighting. Swain, in the middle of a fight. Zed, assassinating people. Caitlyn, poking away. Udyr, tanking a whole shit ton. Nami, disengaging, buffing, healing, disengaging. They have a very, very good team fight. I just feel they're a little bit more focused. That, again, my opinion, it could be that they're just a more standard team comp. I just feel they're a little bit more focused in what they want to do and how they scale throughout the game. They have a very gentle but consistent power curve. My reason being for that, Caitlyn, Nami, very strong early game. They are lane bullies. They land early kills, they land early aggression. They then turn that advantage into a reasonably strong but nowhere near hyper carry late game. It's a very consistent power increase. They don't fall off, but they also don't hyperscale. Solid picks. Udyr, very same sort of an idea. Strong early game because of damage, strong mid game because of mobility and tankiness. He falls off a little bit late game if they're kiting him properly. But look at this team. Who's gonna kite him? Jinx. Maybe Ryze. Everyone else, in order to CC him, needs to jump on his face. So they don't have any way to fully kite an Udyr. If they, let's say, had a Janna, yeah, Udyr's going to fall off heavily late game. But if no one disengages, that fall off doesn't happen to anywhere near the same degree. Zed, reasonably high kill potential early mid game, scales very well into late game, will absolutely destroy Jinx if he's ever given an opportunity. Jinx has no built-in full escape. She has a snare and she has a slow. That is not going to get you away from properly played Zed. If Zed plays this properly, he will absolutely destroy Jinx in a team fight, And if the rest of the team is not too far behind, that is a free win for them. That being said, they have two damage threats. Jinx and Ryze, both very, very heavy damage mid-late game. Ryze is not running Barrier, Ryze is not running Flash. I would almost suggest Zed go in on Ryze late game. If he assassinates either one and gets away with it, or makes them blow a significant amount of CC on him, then Swain, Caitlyn, the rest of their team, they're going to clean up. On the other side, blue team is far more about hard engage and snowball. Ryze is not that tanky. He can be, but he has to snowball very heavily for that to happen. Yeah, if you build armor pen, Ryze melts. Zed can't 100 to 0 Ryze unless he's really ahead. That's simply not true. Ryze will often build a significant amount of armor, but Zed should have Last Whisper, he should have Blade of the Ruined King. If he's played properly, he will kill Ryze. It's not going to be an instant burst combo, but he should be able to kill Ryze. Again, I like purple team a little bit better from team comp. Blue team, if they get ahead though, will snowball very heavily. And Pantheon just has such high kill potential, and Hecarim's early ganks are so potent that I have a large amount of faith that they'll be able to do that. But it does boil down to how they play. I don't know how I feel about this Ryze. Starting builds. Yes, he's definitely tankier than Jinx, but if he gets ahead, I feel that he can assassinate Ryze, and if he does that, that is a more valuable assassination than Jinx. Just because Ryze, as you mentioned, is beefy. It's hard for other people to kill him. If Zed can accomplish that job, then that's an easy team fight. Okay, I'm gonna go over these starting builds. Okay. I have a concern. I don't know who he's versus yet. I'm assuming Swain. Ryze started Mana Crystal, and I've seen a lot of Ryzes do that in solo queue. While you do technically get kill potential, I do not like it. I don't know if it's just myself and the fact that Ryze has been nerfed so many times. Do people actually have trouble killing Ryze and beating him down in lane? No, Ryze's laning phase is pretty weak. And Mana Crystal is not going to help that laning phase. Yes, you're going to get a few more spells. Yes, you're going to do a little bit more damage. But you have no tankiness. You have no sustain. I would suggest maybe even a Flask. Flask or Boots. I can't say that for sure, but if you're versus Swain, you need to be able to dodge his skills. So I'd be fine with a Boot start. I'd be fine with a Flask start. I feel Sapphire Crystal is a little bit too cocky. I could be wrong on that. Also, he didn't need to Q that. He has no tier. Queuing is just a waste of mana at this point. You only use skills to kill champions or to pick up CS you would not get other ways. Okay, sorry, back to other builds. Hecarim, very, very standard. Machete. Leona, again, went Rejuve bead, but she has potions, so I'm not going to hold it against her. It's perfectly fine. I prefer a 4 health potion start on Leona. That's just myself. Pantheon went Flask. That's a perfect build for him. He needs to go Flask. He's incredibly mana hungry. I do feel he's not playing aggressive enough. He should be zoning him a little heavier. You don't want tips for support yet. Okay. This action is pretty subdued at the moment, so I'm going to go over the rest of the starting builds. Swain started Fairy Charm, rest of his items. I'm fine with that, because he's going to go a very early Chalice, and he is mana hungry. I'm fine with that. He needs to play a little bit more aggressively, though. He needs to land his dots every time they're off cooldown. Double dot on Swain, you just won lane. Here comes the first gank. They are very... Whoa. That was a bad play. That was a completely free kill. I have 2 complaints there. First of all, obviously Hecarim missed. He auto-attacked a minion, did not push them into turret. Leona also should have been the one to engage. As soon as Hecarim comes around through river, they're going to start to try and run. Land a Zenith Blade, engage. Obviously, Jinx is very, very low health here. Oh, no. You're going to get that. Maybe? Maybe? Okay. I just feel that could have been better coordinated with Jinx. They got summoners for it. That's worth it. I don't think that's going to get it. No. I didn't see how this gank started. Worked pretty well. They pushed him out of lane. That's a win. If you get flash, if you get them to go back to base, that is a successful gank. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Nami is now rushing Philosopher's Stone rather than Sightstone. I do not like that build, but I can understand why you do it. She is reasonably mana hungry if you're getting poked out in lane. Where's your dot? There you go. You just got a kill. Perfect. I'm fine with Udyr taking that. He does snowball quite heavily. I would have preferred it went to Swain simply because he used his Ignite there. And he's down flash. Again, personal preference. Not the end of the world, though. Sightstone is core item on support. You build it first item on every single support. It outperforms gold per 10 in terms of stats, in terms of gold per 10. It's just so much better. Yeah, everyone else's starting build was pretty standard here. I'm not a fan of Zed having started Doran's Blade, simply because he's versus such a heavy harass lane here. But it's worked out for him. He's not died. Does he have any flask charges left? He has 1 flask charge left. He needs to pop that right now, which he seems to be doing. Perfect. And then if Zed comes back, he's dead. Q, jump, Heartseeker, Ignite, he's dead. You just got a free kill. But I don't think Zed's going to fall for it. We'll see. I would be interested to know, I wasn't watching the lane closely enough, why is Zed pushed up this far? The fact that he has mismanaged the minion wave and it has pushed this far means that he is now zoning himself. Like, he's getting no experience. If you're in this situation where you're not able to get farm and you're not able to get experience, essentially, you need to go back, which is what he's doing. Even if you're not going to get a lot of items, get a potion, get a ward, get your free healing, essentially. Yes, Pantheon's going to pull ahead in lane because of this, but you're not actually that far behind. You're down 6-7 CS, so by the time you're back, you'll be down about a level and a half and maybe 20 CS. That's not the end of the world. That is able to be counteracted, especially given that Pantheon falls off and you have an Udyr jungle who already has a kill. Perfect. This is when you want flash. You have Ignite but can't get in range. If you ran teleport flash, you would have teleported down, you would have bound Caitlyn as you did, got the kill, then flashed and did the same to Nami. You didn't even need to bind Caitlyn, she was already dead. So you save your binding because Leona landed her stun, deal the damage you need to Caitlyn, then flash Room Prison, yeah, he's dead. Flash Room Prison Nami and you would have got a second kill, I feel. This is what I said earlier. Ryze is incredibly squishy early game. If you don't have flash, if you don't have a way to escape, they are going to bully you out. That is just something that you have to accept. We're going to compare CS bot lane now. Jinx is at 43 to Caitlyn's 28, so Caitlyn is very far behind. That could be part of the ganks that have come down here, because I've seen them gank purple team at least twice. I've also seen, though, that... I apologize, my throat's getting really sore from talking so much. Blue team did get the successful gank onto Caitlyn. So I don't know exactly why they're this far ahead on blue team. That's an exhaust down. Hecarim's coming in. Bait this fight, bait this fight. Leona needs to go in. Alright, she didn't have an E. You just walked into a trap. There you go. Got the kill. Perfect. She was just waiting on the E. I don't know if she didn't have enough mana, I don't think. Yes, as you said, Fate, purple team is doing a great job of punishing him for not running flash. And that's something you need to do. You need to be aware of what summoner skills they're running, what kill potential they have, how they scale. If someone is going to scale well, you need to get fed off them early game so that even though they scale better than you, you have already snowballed. Yes, Random Elite, this is on North America. This is a practice. We're doing a ranked workshop tomorrow. We will have multiple people shoutcasting those games and offering advice. Right now, I'm just practicing, making sure that we have everything set up properly and getting some people into some practice games so they know how things will function. If you wish to sign up for that, someone in the chat will be able to provide you with a link to the sign-up form. I apologize if I stopped talking a little bit. My throat is getting a bit sore. So Pantheon's still doing a good job of zoning this Zed. Hecarim's coming up. I feel they can dive this. Hecarim has ult. Pantheon needed no. No. You're going to get that kill, but that was a misplay. So what they should have done there, Pantheon takes a free tower shot because he can tank it. Brian actually just got me water. Pantheon needed to walk in, tank turret. He then needed to jump. Hecarim needed to go in at the same time, obviously. Pantheon needed to tank the first turret shot. He then needed to jump to Zed. That would have been an instant kill. If he needed them, he could have used his skills to block a second turret shot. Again, 0 damage from turret, 0 risk. Again, that was probably just a miscommunication on their team. So that's just something that they need to work on as far as communication is concerned. Yes, we are posting all of them on YouTube. Yeah, that kill, obviously, it worked out for them, but it could have been played a lot better. They could have done that with less risk, less counterplay. That being said, Zed did use his ult there. I believe he also... I'm not sure if he used Ignite during that gank or before that gank. But either way, he has no kill potential versus Pantheon now. That's a very good position for them to be in, because Pantheon needs to be snowballing. Pantheon needs to get his advantage, because he's not going to be... Is Colorblind not on? That was a great engage, actually. That was beautiful, actually. My reasoning for that. Leona went in. Leona tanked all of the damage. Nami actually did a very valiant job of trying to counter-engage that, but Hecarim was already in position. Even if they got the kill on Jinx, they would have got that double kill. Jinx did a great job surviving there, but I believe, again, I can't see their chat, but I believe that was mostly Leona seeing an opportunity to go in. I hope that was planned, and if it wasn't, she needs to look for opportunities like that. Your jungler's on the way. You need to engage first. You have an incredible defensive steroid with your shield. So she played that very, very well. Swain is farming Wraiths now. Let's see, his item build. He actually didn't go first item Chalice. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Swain is very mana hungry as far as wave clear is concerned. Yeah, I feel like he should have gone Chalice, and then he needs to keep taking Wraiths. That will give him a very strong advantage in lane. He already has one. He's 20 CS ahead approximately. He's 1-0-1, as opposed to Ryze's 2 deaths. Both of them seem to be farming Wraiths. That's a great thing. That's something you need to do as a mid lane. A lot of people do not do that on mid, and they fall so far behind because of it. You can actually win lane purely because of that. Great binding there. You're going to get that kill. He doesn't have flash. Remember, we discussed this earlier. Completely free kill, no risk whatsoever. Great job. Great job by Swain. Pantheon up top, 55 CS to 52 to 55. He's actually not snowballing this lane at all. Zed has been zoned all game. He's not behind. So I'm not sure, based on the time of the game, that's showing me that Pantheon is not farming very well. Or that Zed is taking doubles, which I haven't seen him do yet, so I don't think he is. Pantheon now needs to find an opportunity to snowball. If he's not able to get a kill on Zed, and again, that's not saying that this is a bad Pantheon, it could just be Zed playing passively, which, again, he looks to have been zoned, so that's probably the case. He needs to find a way to snowball, though. Zed is going to outscale him massively into the mid and late game, so he needs to be picking up kills around the map. Whether that is... actually, he's going to lose a lot of farm here. This is probably why he's so even in farm. Every time he goes back, Zed needs to do this. Shove into turret. Actually, he should have cleared this wave too. If he cleared this wave, which he should have been able to do, clone inside it, double shadow slash, double Q, blah blah blah, walk away. I would have even done double golems right after that. You would have got the wave. This wave would have died to turret, or at least half of it would have before Pantheon got back, and you would have got more CS, more experience, more gold by taking doubles. I'm interested to see if Ryze catches him out. Nope, he ignored him. If he had better reaction time, he could have pulled that off, because he would have been in better position. He would have snared him when he was here, got a Q. He should have continued to walk this way while doing his machine gun combo. And I don't know if he would have got a keyboard. Sorry, oh my god, I apologize. I made the mistake of looking at Twitch chat where someone said scoreboard while trying to say something else, so I said keyboard. I apologize. I'm going to stop doing that. Lost my place. He might not have got a kill, but he would have got a significant amount of damage back on Udyr, and it would have stopped his Roman ganks for the next little while. He also needs to stop getting caught by these bindings. I don't know... He should probably be buying boots too already. I feel like this is a mobility problem. We've already been over. We've beaten it into the ground. He is not running flash. He's going to die right here. He doesn't have flash. He's caught out. He's going to die. Oh, well, he didn't get bound. He had every reason to die there, is more what I'm saying. He's still probably going to die. If you have that mobility disadvantage, if they're snowballing on you because you have that vision, that mobility disadvantage, you need to counteract it. You need to be building some sort of a movement item. Whether that's Boots 2 or something else. I believe someone mentioned in chat right at the beginning of the game, Ryze isn't running move speed quints. Ryze needs to run move speed quints. Swain could have got this kill. What he needed to do, he stayed in position while using his combo. That's all well and good, but he can move up to approximately this line of where the minions are without taking any damage from turret. If he continued to walk towards that, he would have had time to land a second combo, and see his ignites up in like half a second here. Yeah, perfect, he got that. So, take that complaint I just had and shove it, because he just did exactly what he needed to do. And I think he's still going to live. No. Nope, he's dead. That's a good thing Ryze had that ignite. It stopped his healing and got enough damage on him. So yeah, again, I'm fine with that. Ryze is using teleport. That's a very good use of teleport because he's already in the turret. And I think... Has he not put any points in Rune Prison? He's level 10. He should have, I think, 2 or 3 points in it. It's level 3. 1.25 seconds. Maybe it's just an issue of him not having kited properly or not using his combo properly. But the cooldown on that should be approximately 5 seconds. 5 to 6 seconds right now. Because every spell you use reduces it by a second. So I feel he could have got that kill on Udyr. It's not a guaranteed kill, but I just think he could have played that fight just slightly better. Nice. Nice CC combo. They need to turn around here. I don't think they're going to be able to get this. Yeah. Back out, Udyr. Oh, that was a really nice nap. Good job, Caitlyn. That was a very nice mechanical move. You saw the stun coming, eat out, and then we're able to dodge Leona right after. Perfect job, perfect job. Oh, this Swain. Yeah, Swain's so far ahead now. And he has gone ahead and got his chalice. Good for him. He definitely needs that mana sustain. Okay, back to top lane here. Zed has now built approximately 10 CS advantage and a kill rather than Pantheon's assist. I like switch to be over to armor, but at this point, the stage of the game where he can snowball and pick up massive amounts of kills is over. At this point, it's only downhill for Pantheon, and he needs to itemize towards that. So I'm happy that he has gone armor now. He needs to be building armor now. But he failed the section of the game when he should have been strongest. And I say that not as a, oh my god, you failed, you're so bad sort of a standpoint, but that is the section of the game when you're at your strongest, and it's when you need to build your advantage. If you're not confident in your ability to build a very strong lead early game on Pantheon, you should not play Pantheon in that matchup. That's why Pantheon is considered a strong counter pick, not a strong first pick. They need to dragon. Yeah. My reason being, Pantheon is dead, jungler is occupied, they need to clear this ward and try and force a fight. Swain is incredibly far ahead in terms of gold and items. They need to try and force something. Yeah, I feel that would have been the best bet. They've gone ahead, cleared this pink ward. I really like that. That's what they needed to do. Leona pink the pink. What she needed to do. Good job. Caitlyn. Caitlyn is going Blade of the Ruined King. I do not like Blade of the Ruined King Caitlyn. I feel you should be going damage. If you're in range to use Blade of the Ruined King on Caitlyn, you are either out of position or you've already won that fight. Okay, good turn, good turn. Perfect Pantheon ult. Perfect, not so much in that he's going to get this kill, but that is a free dragon. Take that dragon, please. Take that dragon. Udyr is now going to die, or he should die. Nami is dead. Caitlyn is... she has both her summoners still on her ult. I feel that could have been a free dragon if they decided to take it. They had 4 people there. Ryze is low health, but he can contribute a significant amount of damage, use his ult to heal up, or just walk away after he's dealt some damage. I feel that would have been a free dragon. This is a little bit too late now, though. Purple team hasn't responded. Purple team didn't respond, so this is a fine play. I just wish they would have done it when they had a guaranteed advantage. But yeah, perfect play, good job. Zed, again, doing his job, split pushing. Zed needs to farm very, very heavily. Perfect dodge. Yep, I'm fine with how this Zed's playing. Zed, you need to duel people, and if they're not letting you duel them, you need to split push. You need to push as hard as you possibly can. His wave clear is reasonably strong, and he scales very well with farm. His dueling potential is going to go nowhere but up, so just clear wave, go to a different lane, duel someone, clear wave, duel someone, go to a different lane, clear wave, over and over again. That's exactly how you play Zed, and he's pulling it off quite well. That Nami bubble missed. You can't hold anything against Nami for missing a bubble. They are very difficult to land, especially versus mobile targets such as a Hecarim. I don't know if it's intended for Nami or Hecarim. Either way, they're reasonably mobile. They're reasonably difficult to land. Okay, so Swain has gone to swap. He lost that trade a little too heavily. This is good for Pantheon, actually. Pantheon's now in a lane where he has some kill potential again. Yeah, perfect. Like, he died, but that's perfectly worthwhile for him. Oh, Leak Spin's amazing. I used to listen to it for hours for fun. I know, I'm crazy. You've never heard Leak Spin before, Brian? He actually just clicked the link. Congratulations. At least it wasn't Meat Spin. Okay. I'm just trying to see how they're positioning right now. Taking a look at the map. Blue team has very good ward coverage top lane. Actually, a couple extra wards here. Purple team, they have... Yeah, I like purple team's wards as well. They have Tribush top. They have their red buff covered. They have their blue buff pinked so they cannot steal it. And they have a ward in the Sacred Bush bottom. I'm totally good with that. That's actually really good ward coverage by purple team. Props to them for maintaining that. The only thing I have to keep in mind here... They seem to be reasonably different timers, so that's one thing to keep in mind when you're placing wards. Try not to place them all at the exact same time. Or if they do, make sure you do staggered replacements or overlapping times. Because if not, you're going to have some issues there as far as, oh, all our wards expired at the same time. Now we can't safely go out and replace them. I'm impressed. This Pantheon has turned his essentially lost early game into a couple kills. Good for him. He's making opportunities for himself. Yeah, you're just stepping on a trap. Keep in mind, Caitlyn traps are incredibly easy to see. There's not really an excuse for walking into them. Good job. Yeah, 3v1. Udyr is here still. I don't think they're going to notice him. Dragon doesn't spawn for a little while. I don't. Unfortunately, I'm not typing on. I'm not timing their buffs, so I don't know when those are up. I would use that kill that blue team got to try and start clearing out some wards. They need to get some map control back, and they need to keep doing this. They need to be picking off single lone targets. They are a snowball assassin team comp for the most part. And if they continue to do that, they're going to accelerate this game very quickly. Everything's actually dead even right now. Gold's even, kills are even, turrets are even. So, very good job on that. Oh, Pantheon got another kill. Yeah, this Pantheon is doing work at this point. The reason is, I feel that people are now underestimating Pantheon. Like, this is 2v... That would have been a 2v1. They're saying, oh, there's a turret there, it's going to protect me. No, turret's not going to protect you against Pantheon. He's going to harass you, he's going to throw a spear back off, throw a spear back off. Okay, you're in kill lane, jump on them, kill them. Boom. Take essentially no damage from turrets. Yeah, that was versus an Udyr too. Alright, I'm going to do a quick overview of items. In the meantime, I'm going to follow Swain. So you guys can do that. I'm going to just compare some items, compare some CS. We have a 70 CS Hecarim versus 100 CS Udyr. Udyr is 4-1 and 2. Udyr is very, very far ahead, and he's building in ways to help maintain that advantage. He has actually gone Home Guards Boots 3. I'm fine with that. I personally like Boots 5 on junglers, especially Udyr, who has such a very strong move speed buff when he's engaging in a fight, so he needs global map presence. He needs to be able to get around. But there's nothing particularly wrong with Boots of Swiftness, especially seeing as it does reduce slowing effects. Jinx is going to be the main one who kites him. That being said, though, one person having a slow is not a reason to buy Boots 3. Oh, wow. The blue team's snowballing very, very heavily now. I'm impressed. I predicted at the beginning that blue team was going to have some issues. They did, and now they're just doing work. So very, very good for them. They've pulled together. They seem to have some very good communication. Again, I can't view their chat, but it seems as though they're communicating well. They're grouping together. They had 2 people top. They get a kill top, take top turret, cycle mid. Dragon's up in 15 seconds. I wouldn't be surprised if they go take that. I hope they do. Blue team is pinging their blue buff, so hopefully they have the time on that as well. If they do this properly, they just took top turret, got a kill, took mid turret, they got a number of kills. Now if they get dragon and blue buff, perfect. You've just snowballed your lead incredibly far ahead. They're about 3,500 gold ahead right now. This is going to bump that even more. I would prefer, though, if Leona had a pink ward for this. She does. She's not clearing, though. Purple team is reacting. You need to clear it. Even if it goes in your favor this time, you should always clear wards. Always. If you're going to do an objective, clear the wards. I think they're going to get this, though. It's not the end of the world. It's just a strategy, and you need to be aware of it. Back to comparing items. As I said, I don't particularly like Boots 3 on Udyr. Personal choice for him. It's working out for him, so I can't fault it too much. That being said, he's 1v4 right now. Like, he's so caught out, there's no reason for him to be here. Look where his team is. They're all the way back here. They have a ward. They know that Dragon is gone. They know that there was 3 to 4 people there. Why would he then walk through their entire jungle, which is unwarded, and into their team? That is not a smart choice, and I don't know what he was thinking there, but that's something he needs to be aware of. He had no backup. You're not going to get a kill by yourself, unless you just like catch a squishy target all by themselves, and you just saw their team there, so please, do not do that. That was a bad play by him. Comparatively, Hecarim has gone Sheen, Boots 5, Spirit Ancient Golem. Very, very standard build. That being said, he's very far behind on farm. That could be that they're funneling some farm over to Ryze, because Ryze has picked up farm a little bit, and Jinx has picked up quite a bit of farm. So, that's fine. Leona. I like Boots 5 on Leona. I really do. That being said, I understand why he's gone Ninja Tabi, because he's tanking most of the damage, and they're versus a Caitlyn, Udyr, and a Zed. That's a lot of auto attacks. So, I'm fine with that. That's a strategic choice, and I support it. I just think that with the pick-off comp that they have right now, Boots 5 might be a better choice. It might be. They also have Locket on them. That's a really early Locket for a support. I know we're 28 minutes in, but supports generally do not have the gold to build Locket. That's why it was so core on junglers for so long. Jinx doing amazingly well. Almost 200 CS, 515. Ooh, very nice ult by Hecarim. Pantheon doing work. Yeah, they're just getting picks right now. They're seeing a team fight. They're going in as 5 and they're dominating those fights. I can't fault them right now. Blue team is doing amazingly well. Except for that. That was a bad ult, but that's just it. It's a skill shot. You learn skill shots over time. You practice them. Great jump. Dodged the bubble because of it. Good job, Pantheon. Yeah, Leona's doing very well. She pulled off some amazing plays bot lane. She is 3-0 and 12. That's great for her. As I mentioned earlier, I'd be pushing that advantage into some mobility, but personal choice for her. It's worked out for her. I cannot fault it. Ryze has actually pulled back quite heavily. He has his double scaling items, and he's 5-5-5. I might have suggested he go Merc Treads, only because he's getting CC'd a lot, but you kind of need the spell pen on him, so I take that back. Merc Treads, not enough CC to worry about. I was only saying it because he was getting caught by so many Swain bindings, so yeah. Pantheon, perfect build. I have no problems with it. I wish you would have got Hydra earlier, but it's all great. I don't like Deathfire Grasp on Swain. I'll do a quick item overview at the end here. Okay. Item overview. I had already just done the top team here. I'm going to just do a quick overview of bottom team. I will then start forming the next round, excluding these people. I want to try and get some more people into the games. And then we'll get that game up and running. And that will probably be the final game tonight. I need to make sure I don't lose my voice entirely for tomorrow. We will have more commentators tomorrow who are experienced in areas I am not. Because I'm not overly familiar with top lane. My team fight knowledge is not quite up to par with some of my friends, so I'm going to have them helping with the shoutcasting here. Okay, quick rundown. Nami. She has no boots. That is a big no-no. You have no boots on a Nami. That means you have no cooldown reduction, you have no mobility, and you're versus a team comp that's entirely designed to pick off lone targets. I feel that that is a very big issue for her. She also is working towards Locket. Udyr was actually very far ahead early. Get him to build Locket. Udyr should have Locket. He was building Triforce. I'm fine with him building a damage item first, but do not sacrifice boots. It just gives out too much. I don't feel that was worth it on her part. Again, I'm not blaming her for the loss. I just feel it was a significant misplay in not picking up boots. Zed, he never finished his Blade of the Ruined King. He decided to instead go a little bit of armor, Merc Treads, which, okay, I understand why, but, and Brutalizer. I feel you need Blade of the Ruined King. Blade of the Ruined King is so much of your kill potential on Zed, so he gave up kill potential for a smattering of itemization. I do not like that, and it shows in his score. Again, there were other problems. I mentioned a few of them throughout the game, but I just feel that that's a little bit of a misplay. Swain does not do burst damage. Like, he has definitely very respectable damage, but he is an AoE utility sustained damage mage. Building Deathfire Grasp on Swain, I do not like. I would have finished your Hourglass before that. I would have finished your Boots 2 before that. I would have finished your Athenes before that. And then I still probably wouldn't have finished it. Because those are just absolute core items. You need your Boots. You need your Hourglass. Hourglass is completely core on Swain. And I would also suggest an Athenes, because you need that mana, you need that cooldown reduction. I just feel that was a very poor purchase on his part. Caitlyn, I mentioned during the game, I really dislike Blade of the Ruined King on Caitlyn. I feel there are much better options. Doesn't mean that it cannot work, but I don't like it. I feel there are much better options for her. She's very long ranged, and she needs the flat damage. She actually scales with AD quite well, because she has built-in headshots. She has long-range assassinate ult. She has damage on her Q. All of those are significant portions of her damage, and I'm talking significant as in like 30-40% of most of her damage in team fights. So I just feel that she gave up too much for Blade of the Ruined King, which is a kiting, low-range dueling item, which is not something Caitlyn does. Udyr, I mentioned during the game, I'm not a fan of Boots 3 on him. I feel he would have been better served by Boots 5. You already have your speed buff when you're ganking, so you don't need the constant move speed buff. You need the global move speed buff to get in range, get your objectives, get your counter ganks, all of that good stuff. I also mentioned I feel he should have been building Locket, given that they had a significant amount of damage potential if these lanes succeeded. Obviously, a lot of the lanes did fall behind, so I understand why he built damage, but I feel Locket would have been better in a standard even game, where the games were going even. As far as we mentioned earlier, Leona did absolutely fantastic. I noticed, and I mentioned, a number of really good ganks she set up. I feel there was a couple opportunities where she should have engaged a little earlier, and I mentioned them when I noticed them, but overall, I cannot fault her play. She did very well and set up a lot of kills. That, though, was a lot of just communication between her, Hecarim, and Jinx. They were a very good trio, where they were communicating well together, and they abused that. They said, okay, we work well together. We have enough damage, CC, gap closers, sustain, everything we need to make our own team fights, and then they focused that. That's why they snowballed. They, instead of trying to just like ARAM all 5 mid when they were behind, they used that pick potential to create opportunities for themselves. Sweet Lord, my voice.